My baked ham with pineapple and cherries recipe is easy and delicious. The combination of pineapple and cherries is sweet and tart, the perfect contrast to the saltiness and smokiness of the holiday ham. I'm going to make this even more flavorful by adding cloves, brown sugar, and other spices. And at the end, I'm going to add the perfect finishing touch, a nice pineapple sauce that's going to really take this to the next level. Here I have a smoked ham. It is just under 11 pounds. If you're in the United States and you're making a ham for Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, something like that, this is probably what you're going to buy. This is actually already cooked. We just have to heat it up. Most people, when they make ham, they make a glaze out of brown sugar, honey, sometimes butter, things like that, because they're trying to balance out the saltiness and smokiness of the ham. That's good, but that kind of turns ham into a dessert in a way. I think you need some sweetness, but I don't want this to be like a dessert. So my recipe is going to be perfect. Like I said, I'm going to add some pineapple. I am using fresh pineapple rings. I cut up a fresh pineapple. Here I have just over 700 grams or 25 ounces. So if you are buying canned, look for at least a 20-ounce can, 20 to 25 ounces. I'm also using some maraschino cherries. This is one 10-ounce can drained. The juice is over there. I'll get to that in a minute. Here I have half a cup of dark brown sugar. I think it's better to use dark in this case because dark has a stronger flavor and it's going to balance out the stronger flavor of the ham. But if you have light brown sugar, I think that'll work great as well. Some classic yellow mustard, the juice from the maraschino cherries, a little over half a cup of pineapple juice from a different recipe. So if you are using canned pineapple rings, you could probably just strain the can and use that juice. And some spices. Here I have a 1/4 teaspoon each of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger, along with 5 whole cloves. If you do not have whole cloves, I would just do another 1/4 teaspoon of ground cloves. Some people like to score the skin and then stick in cloves like that, but I'm not going to do that because I think that makes it possible that the cloves are going to overpower the ham and the pineapple and the cherries, and some people, they don't want to accidentally bite into a clove. So with that in mind, I am just going to put some mustard on the ham, then the brown sugar, then the pineapple and cherries. I think I'm going to need 2 tablespoons of mustard, but we'll see. I am doing this because the mustard does have a strong flavor that's going to help balance out the ham flavor, but also the mustard is going to act as a glue of sorts that's going to help the brown sugar to stick. I just finished putting the 2 tablespoons of yellow mustard on the ham. Now I'm going to put on the half a cup of brown sugar. Even though I used regular yellow mustard, I think Dijon mustard would be good. Maybe some honey mustard, whatever you want. If you experiment a bit, please let me know in the comment section how it turned out. Now I will continue to press on the brown sugar. You can see it's acting like a glue. My sugar's a bit clumpy, so I am breaking it apart as I go. When I get this done, I will bring you back. The brown sugar is now spread all over the holiday ham, so now it's time to move on to the pineapple rings. I have some toothpicks, and I'm literally just going to take a toothpick like that and just poke the ham. Some of the smaller pineapple rings I'll probably put down towards the bottom. Here, really no right or wrong way to do this. Just put them on as best you can. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to put a maraschino cherry just like that on the toothpicks. I am going to do this and then I will bring you back. I finished putting the pineapple rings and maraschino cherries on the ham, and as you can see, I decided to take a few toothpicks and just put some cherries on them. Why let them go to waste? Now I'm going to make a basting liquid. Like I said, I have half of a cup of pineapple juice, half of a cup of maraschino cherry juice, and I am going to mix them together. Now I'm going to add the spices. Here I have, so you can see, my 1/4 teaspoon each of cinnamon, nutmeg, and ginger, and then my 5 whole cloves. Mix those together. I didn't add quite all of the cherry juice because I wanted to be able to stir this mixture here in this measuring cup and not have it overflow. So now I'm just going to pour it into the bottom of this 9x13 casserole dish. And as the ham cooks, I am going to baste it with this. Now I'm going to cover with foil and bake. Now I'm just going to loosely cover the ham with pineapple and cherries with foil. You can see I'm using the toothpicks as a way to fasten or hold the foil in place. It does not have to be super snug. I just wanted to capture most of the steam. So like I said, this is 11 pounds. At 325, it should take 3 hours. I'm also going to baste it every 30 minutes. Every 30 minutes, I'm going to take it out of the oven and baste the juice all over the ham and the pineapples and the cherries. My ham has been in the oven for half an hour, covered at 325. So now I'm going to take off the foil and baste it for the first time. Here I have a spoon. I'm just going to pour the cherry juice and the pineapple juice and the spices over the ham and over the pineapples. This would be easier if I tilted the dish a little bit this way or that way so that it all pooled in one location. Then I could get more in the spoon. But that's kind of hard to do with the tripod in the way. But you get the idea. After you've basted it thoroughly, put it back in the oven for another half an hour. And repeat this step every half an hour. My ham with pineapple and cherries has been cooking at 325, covered for 2.5 hours. And like I said, every 30 minutes, I've been basting it. The skin and the pineapple and the cherries. Now I'm going to put it back in the oven, still at 325, uncovered for half an hour, just to finish it up. After a total of 3 hours of cooking, my ham with pineapple and cherries is now done. Like I said, the last half hour was uncovered at 325, and it just came out and I basted it. It looks and smells absolutely fantastic. I'm actually going to cover it and put it back in the oven that's turned off but still warm because I have to make the pineapple sauce. Although I am going to upload a separate video for this pineapple sauce recipe, I wanted to give you the quick version in this video.
To make this pineapple sauce, you will need 1 pound of frozen pineapple, 454 grams, 2/3 a cup of white sugar, 140 grams, a quarter cup of water, 60 grams to start off with, 1 tablespoon of lemon juice, 1 teaspoon of lemon zest, an eighth of a teaspoon of salt, and for the slurry, 2.5 tablespoons of cornstarch, 25 grams, 2.5 tablespoons of water, and you will probably also need an extra quarter cup of water. So let's say half a cup of water besides the water for the slurry. This recipe is really quick and easy because, as you can see, you can start it without first thawing the pineapple. Just put all the ingredients except those for the slurry and the extra quarter cup of water in a large pot. Turn on the heat. I went back and forth between medium and high for about 10 minutes, using your spoon to break apart the pineapple along the way. It should start boiling after about 10 minutes, so when it comes to a boil, lower the heat to medium and continue stirring and cooking for 10 more minutes. After stirring, cooking, and continuing to break up the pineapple with your spoon for that 10 minutes, make the slurry. Keep the pineapple sauce over the heat when you add the slurry and continue stirring. It should thicken in about 30 seconds. Although it seemed to come together really quickly, I tasted it and I realized that it actually still kind of tasted like cornstarch, so I added an extra quarter cup of water and I cooked it for another 5 minutes on medium heat while stirring continuously. After adding an extra bit of water and cooking it for a little bit longer to cook out that cornstarch flavor, it was absolutely perfect. When my ham with pineapple and cherries recipe was finally complete, I was very impressed. Visually speaking, I think that this ham is really attention getting. The reddish brown skin, the yellow pineapple rings, the red cherries, all of those colors just grab your attention. And when presented with the red cherry sauce and the yellow pineapple sauce, it was just beautiful. This would be perfect for an Easter table or any other holiday table. My ham and pineapple with cherries recipe turned out absolutely fantastic. As I cut it, you can see that the outside was just a little bit crispy, but the inside was really moist. Even though the texture was definitely good, what I really liked was the flavor. Just as I had predicted at the beginning of the video, the sweet cherries and the sweet and slightly tart pineapple contrasted very nicely with the smoked ham that was a bit on the salty side. I also liked what the whole cloves and other spices did to the basting liquid. Even though a quarter teaspoon of spices and 5 whole cloves may not seem like a whole lot, it was just enough to complement the flavors in the fruit and the ham. I also liked what the brown sugar and bit of mustard did as well. The brown sugar added some nice sweetness and upped the flavor from the molasses, and the mustard, the tartness, added a nice element as well. The only important comment I have in regards to this recipe is that I highly recommend using fresh pineapple because it's so much more flavorful than canned pineapple. Even though my baked ham did not have a glaze, it did have 2 types of sauces. The first sauce was the leftover basting liquid, basically cherry and pineapple juice with spices. Since I used that juice to baste the ham a couple times, it took on the saltiness and smokiness of the ham, so it was definitely very flavorful. Even though the ham definitely wasn't dry at all, I did use the red sauce to moisten it even more. Honestly, I thought that the cherry and pineapple juice added a ton of flavor to this baked smoked ham without using a sugary glaze. And in regards to the pineapple sauce, I actually thought it was really good. What I liked about it was that it had a really good sweet and sour combination. Fresh pineapple on its own definitely has a sweet and tart contrast, but I think that adding the white sugar along with a bit of lemon juice only emphasized that contrast. I also really like the lemon zest because even though lemon is a strong flavor, a little bit of lemon in fruit pies like blueberry pie or strawberry pie or blueberry cobbler helps to bring out the fruit flavor even more. And as you can see, served with some microwaved asparagus, This was a complete holiday meal. This is really flavorful and really easy, and also a lot healthier than a lot of baked ham recipes because I did not make a super sugary glaze. However, this ham with pineapple and cherries recipe had the perfect balance of sweetness, tartness, smokiness, and saltiness without being overpowering in any direction. This baked ham recipe would be absolutely perfect for Easter because it's spring and cherries, pineapple, fruit flavors in general really get you into the spring mood. And as you saw, it's also really beautiful with the yellow pineapple rings and the red cherries. It would look incredible on any Easter table. Just so my followers know, my plan is to upload a separate video for the pineapple sauce next week, and then after that, I'm going to start my Easter dessert series. I started off with side dishes like mac and cheese and collard greens. Now I'm doing the baked ham, the main course, and then I'm going to move on to desserts. If you know me, you know I love desserts, so stay tuned for some great recipes. As always, thanks for watching. See you next time.